Hello students, welcome back to my channel. So I have decided to start with BNS classes, and to begin with, first of all, we need to look at the syllabus, what all things are covered there. So if you talk about KSLU syllabus for BNS, just like any other subject, you will see that there are 5 units that constitutes the entire subject. Now, looking at the present question paper pattern of KSLU, it is very important that you do not skip any of the units and you study all 5 units, because when they ask questions, they say that you need to answer one long and one short question from each of the units. So you don't have the option that I will study 1 to 4th unit properly and from there I will answer all the 5 questions. That option is not there. From each unit you have to answer. So even if you have less time or you are already occupied in some other work, also I will suggest that you study all the 5 units. Maybe you can, like decide to skip on certain things which are not that important, and you can give more importance to the topics which are, like common, or there is a more probability that questions will come from those portions. Now, when I say you can skip certain portions, I do not mean that you can completely skip those portions also. You should have an idea on that particular thing also. Like, take for example, you wanted to skip the portion theft, even though theft is a very important part. Just for an example, I'm taking it. You still need to know that, okay, fine, theft provisions are from this to this sections, and these are the essentials that we need to prove the offense, right? Maybe you have not studied many cases, or you do not know what all specific sections talk about, what all different types and all that things, but then a basic understanding you should have so that you can frame your answer in case, because of your bad luck, a question comes from the portion which you have not studied, you will still be able to somehow manage to write the answer. So it's very important, first of all, not to skip one whole unit. And even if you are skipping certain portions from certain things, there also you should be very much, I would say, you should be very much conscious of what you are skipping, and not like skipping it altogether. You should have a basic understanding so that at least you can frame some 1 2 pages answer for that. Now, when we talk about law subjects, right? There are certain topics wherein you will often see questions. That questions come from this certain section for sure. For those, right, you can invest your time, you can read multiple cases, okay, you can read the entire, you can try to memorize the sections and all that stuff. But then always remember that for law answers, right, for the essay type questions or even for the short notes, you will never get full marks. Unlike you are doing some degree in mathematics or something, there you might get it. In law, you will never get it. Okay. So do not give your 100% in reading one answer, or like 150% in reading one answer. Right? You can give your 80 90%. What matters is that you answer the entire question paper. That matters the most, because even if there is a 10 mark question, you will for sure not get 10 marks in it, right? You might get 7 8, like that, right? So it is important that you answer all the questions. Like I said, even if you have skipped a certain portion, from there a question comes, you are still somehow able to manage to write 2 pages by specifying that, okay, these sections talk about this certain offense, and maybe these are the ingredients. You can give some illustrations and all that. If you're able to manage to write 2 pages, right, there is a higher possibility that you will get at least 2 3 marks there. So that matters most, that from here to 3, from there 6 7, like that you are accumulating marks, and then your aggregate becomes more, rather than you put your 150% in writing one answer and then you don't have time to answer remaining 2 3 questions. There the risk of getting lesser marks is more. Okay, so it is always better, first priority should be answering all the questions. Also, one more thing that I want to tell you with regard to like the number of pages. Maybe there is a question from punishment from IPC, okay? Like the, sorry, not IPC, BNS, okay? This IPC, CRPC is just like in my head. BNS, from Unit 1 of BNS, take for example, there is a question with regard to punishment. Now you know it very well because a new form of punishment is also added. You have written a lot about it, giving your opinion, whether it's good, bad, and all that. You have specified sections and all of that, right? And that answer went on to maybe 9, 10 pages. And your remaining answers, and that is like the first answer that you have written, and your remaining answers are like 2, 3 pages. So when the examiner starts to evaluate your question, like answer sheet, right? The first answer you have written that elaborate, that lengthy. So the expectation will also go on. After that, maybe they have given you 7 or 8 marks there. After that, when they see that other answers you have written 2, 2 pages, they might give you 2, 2 marks. Okay, so it is always a good idea to maintain a consistency between the number of pages in your answers. Okay, like it's not that okay, everything has to be hard and fast, these many pages only, but then it should be, it can be like little bit up and down, but then a certain length you should maintain. Again, that depends on your writing speed. If you can write very fast, maybe you can write more lengthy answers. If you are slow in writing, then maybe your answers can be a little bit shorter also. Maintaining a consistency throughout your question like answer sheet, that also gives like a positive impression on the one who is evaluating your answer sheet. So first of all, it's very important that you do not skip one complete unit altogether. And after that also, it is very important that you have an idea or an understanding on all the topics that are covered in your syllabus. So this is the syllabus for BNS. The first part, it mainly is with regard to the general principles of crime, just like how we had in the earlier legislation, right? Like an introduction on crime. What is crime? How is it different from moral wrongs and all that stuff. Then we have a historical background, how this legislation came into existence. Then we have certain provisions with regard to variations in liability, right? Then we have also provisions with regard to punishment, what all different kinds of punishments can be given under BNS. All those provisions we have. And lastly, we have general exceptions. So general exceptions, punishment, these things are very important otherwise also. But then because it's a new legislation, you might expect a question with regard to the historical background because people are aware how this legislation is introduced. So this is what constitutes your unit 1. Talking about unit 2, it is with regard to abatement and all. So abatement again becomes very important because of the all recent things that are going on, right? Abatement to suicide case, the very famous case. So because of those, so you also need to keep an eye on what's going on at present, right? If something is like attracting people's attention so much, you might expect a question with regard to it because the examiner will expect you to know those provisions. And when you are answering those questions, right, you can mention those relevant things, what is going on, that okay, there is this kind of a case happening, this is the present situation. Even though the case is not yet decided, you can still mention about it, that this is how it has happened, that the Bangalore techie has committed suicide, and in his suicide note he has mentioned these 5 people as the main culprits. So there is an abatement to suicide FIR or complaint being registered. Like that, you can mention the present status also, even though case is not finally decided. If something is that much of a public concern, you can mention those in your answer as well. And also you can expect questions from those sections wherein something is very much, like burning, something is happening. Those sections you need to give more importance. Then we have offenses against women, offenses against relating to marriage and all that we have over here. Then for unit 3, we have offenses against human body. Then we have, so see, when you look at BNS, right, all the different kinds of offenses are classified, like offenses against human body, offenses relating to marriage, offenses against property, like that. So you can have an idea with regard to one specific section also, that what are the offenses with regard to human body, right? If there is a question that comes, you can start your answer like that, that okay, there are certain offenses which are committed against human body, and this part of IPC talks about, like BNS talks about it, these are the sections, and these are the different types of offenses that can be committed against human body. And after that, you can talk about the specific offense that they have asked the question on. Then we have Unit 4, which is with regard to offenses against state. There also we see a lot of questions coming in. Okay, then offenses against public justice and all of that you will see. Unit 5 is with regard to property, which is again very common, theft and all, theft, extortion. You often get questions, robbery, dacoity, right? Then defamation, cheating, so many cases are filed, very common section, right? So these is mainly what constitutes your like BNS syllabus, and it's important that you have an idea on all the topics, and in your free time you can also download the Barrett and you can just go through it so that you have an idea that okay, fine, BNS has these many sections and these are the different classification of offenses that are there and all that. So that also will give you an idea, and those details you can write in your introduction while you are framing an answer, right? So this is what I just wanted to show you. Now the syllabus might vary a little bit from university to university, but then it's just one legislation that we all study, so it would be just like minor variations, otherwise it would mostly be same only for majority of the universities. Okay, so that's all I wanted to share with you today. And for recorded classes for BNS, you can always drop a WhatsApp message to know more details about it if you are interested. Not just for BNS, for all the three other new criminal laws and for any other legal and non-legal subjects, you can drop a WhatsApp message to know the more in detail about it. So that's all for today. We'll end this class here. Bye everyone, and all the best for your exams.